We got a crypto G in the house, Yusuf G. How you doing?
Doing okay, doing well. Good to see you, Weber. You know, I hope Hong Kong is treating you well.
Oh yes, Hong Kong has always been very kind, and I love the ecosystem. I think a lot of credit goes to Annie Mocha and you guys for building such a robust ecosystem here.
I think we were, we were fortunate to be here in Hong Kong early, but I think the community also has stepped up, and different people work in different fields within the crypto ecosystem, exchanges, EVM builders. So there's, Hong Kong appeals, and because of its proximity to mainland China, as well as other parts of Asia, right? There is a lot of flow of talent, and the government is also kind of supportive and thinking in terms of forward regulation, right? Unlike other locations where regulation is cryptic or there's no real, there is regulation, but it doesn't feel like it's in the service of the industry. Whereas Hong Kong, at least there are, the government is willing to listen to say like if rules are not there, they are willing to understand what are the rules which will kind of make sense for it. So privileged to be here.
Me too. I need to know in terms of the tower token,
Yes.
right? It's a fair launch by Animoca, which is I think a very rare thing to hear.
Okay.
Fair launch because in fact, let me be honest. When we met in Dubai and he mentioned fair launch, I'm like, what is fair launch, right? I had to Google and had to find out, and then it is so interesting. Tell us what is tower token and what are you guys doing with it?
So, the tower token, right, was a token launched by Animoca in I would say early 2021. So it's not a recently launched token, right? Initially, it was designed, and it was Animoca's second token. Our first token, which we did, was Rev, which is a motorsport related token. And at that time, it was Animoca was not as large as it is today, right? So it was primarily Yat and myself and a few other folks. We decided to we had this very interesting tower defense game, Crazy Kings and Crazy Defense Hero. So we thought, hey, how can we basically meld free to play mobile game with a Web3 economy, right? That's what can we basically do towards it, right? So to that extent, we said, okay, we'll tokenize. In effect, think of tokenizing the community, and unlike other token launches which had investor sales and everything, we basically said, okay, we're going to just set this up on a DEX. We'll have different pools associated with it, and to date, we've never sold the tower token to any private investor sales. Like everything is basically the circulating supply is owned by the community. That's what I would say. It's a fair launch, and I think at that time we did not realize that you could say we were thinking it. Maybe today everybody looks at meme tokens as kind of a fair launch, but we did not. The intent was as such. Maybe we did not realize it, right? We just felt that this should be something the community owns the token for their participation in the game, and the token is now evolved. We've got other games besides tower defense games in the genre coming up. So we're looking to basically, look at more experiences, more games giving utility to tower. We were originally on Polygon. Now tower is available on Base. We are available on the Ton blockchain. So we're looking at also basically pioneering. Like tower is like the first token of Animoca, which is on Base. The first token of Animoca, which is on blockchain. So there's also learnings which the team now provides to other teams within Animoca. So we could say like an internal skunkworks R&D team also at times.
What are your future roadmaps when it comes to the tower token? Because last time when I checked, it was at a 15 million market cap. I hope it's grown now, but it was unbelievable for a token that is perhaps from Animoca sitting at 15 million market cap. That's a big alpha for all you guys out there. But do your own research. This is no financial advice. I need to know from you that what are your further roadmaps and how do you plan to scale this and take it to perhaps to a unicorn level?
So obviously, one of the things we are looking at is basically, hey, we already on, as I said, we've expanded the availability of Tower to different. We are in talks with more centralized exchanges to get more liquidity for Tower, like to make it available in a wider way, right? We are in talks with a few other game developers who are very keen. So we already now have games besides Animoca providing utility to Tower, right? We're looking to basically talk to more, and if there are game developers who have game experiences which want to give utility to Tower and basically, you know, participate in this community, please talk to us, right? We'll focus on basically driving awareness of the token, like, you know, and hope to basically make this an ecosystem token. That's, I would say, the bigger roadmap, right? How do we want to get this to be at an ecosystem level token, right? What is going to be the narrative we will drive towards it? Yatsu, the co-founder of Animoca, is very supportive, right? He basically, you know, recently in a conversation with John Jordan, he also brought up Tower token, like, you know, so at relevant opportunities, he mentions Tower is something which is an early, you know, you could say, I think in one of his tweets he mentioned Tower was ahead of its time. So maybe I think that's why people ignored it. It was never sexy compared to, and, you know, I don't blame it. It's just we are a small team, you know, but I think we hopefully will put in the work, and, you know, we hope to be doing this for the really long term.
Since you are also like the chief knowledge officer at Animoca, which means that you have a bank of information with you, what do you think is the couple of things that people kind of miss out when they have all this information that is given like, you know, because there's an OD right now of information, and what do you think, like how should we go ahead and get the right information?
I think it's, you know, it's finding your own tools to basically, you know, research and curate your information, like, you know, so I extensively use Notion to curate my information. I use, you know, AI augmented search engines like Perplexity. Like, I use a bunch of AI tools to basically, you know, sometimes you get a lot of like white papers and basically do that thing, and I share, you know, those of you who are, you know, who follow my Twitter profile, you know, x.com/YusufG, YUSUFG, will see a Linktree link, right? Within that Linktree, I basically publicly share my Notion pages, which is effectively my study notes, my curation on Web3 topics, on AI topics. I have a small newsletter. So I think sharing also helps you get feedback, right? I think it's OD, but it's homework one has to do, right? To keep up, to be relevant, and, you know, without that, that's the work, unfortunately. That's the cost of business, one could say. Like, you know, if you expect, like, yeah, I'll basically become knowledgeable without putting in the work, I don't think that's going to happen.
Absolutely, that really is not going to happen. Just one last thing, that where is Token right now in terms of, this is mostly towards our trader friends out there, because traders are also a very important part of our community, right? So what I want to know is, what is Token trading at right now, and where do you think is the future ahead?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know the current token price. It was yesterday it hit a little bit over 1 cent, like, you know, tokens, and I would say is not on as many centralized exchanges. We are working to get more liquidity. It's we actually are running a liquidity farming campaign on Aerodrome, which is the largest DEX on Base, right? So I think the APR is pretty attractive if traders want to.
How much is the APR right now? Because last time it was 550 to 600%.
It's actually a lot more people have put in. The TVL has grown much more, so the APR is now 450%. You know, maybe we're lucky and we'll work on towards basically driving the APR, but it's still pretty sexy. I think you can also, Aerodrome is very interesting, that somebody can decide to be a voter, and voting APRs like are around also 60%. So there's multiple plays you can basically make, right? I think you'll have, and I'm not here, I wish I had a crystal ball to say 3 months what the token is. I've been grateful. Yesterday
Come on, you're the chief knowledge officer. You need to have the knowledge for this.
Chief knowledge officer does not mean chief astrologist, or anything, right? But I think Bitcoin Habibi, a well-known Twitter analyst and chartist, right? Wrote a few tweets yesterday where he says Tower is currently resting. He expects it to be going up based on some analytics he's been analyzing. I'm very grateful that he's put his attention to it, and a few other things. So I would say, for our trader friends, do your own research, right? Even a small amount, if you want to basically get exposure, it's great. No amount is too small, and understand what Animoca does if you've not understood it. This is one of, I would say, a low market cap token, and I hope you stay with us for a long term.
Thank you so much, G, for your time. Thank you.